Light. Introduction. Light is a form of energy which gives us the sensation of sight. You must be wondering what makes you see your image in the mirror. You can even see your image in water, steel plates, spoons, etc. When lights fall on the object, some part of the light is reflected back to our eyes. Then, we are able to see an object because of the light being reflected from the object. You will appreciate the fact that images are visible only on polished surface. Now, let us study about reflection, which is the cause of formation of images. Reflection. The bouncing back of light from a surface is known as reflection. The reflection of light is like bouncing of a ball. Whenever light falls on a polished surface, it bounces back. The amount of light that is reflected depends on the material and the nature of the surface on which it falls. An opaque body absorbs some of the light that falls on it and reflects the remaining light. A transparent body allows almost all the light to pass through it and reflects very little light. A smooth and a highly polished surface, such as a shiny stainless steel surface or a mirror, reflects almost all the light that falls on it. Terms related to reflection of light. A plane mirror is a flat surface that reflects almost all the light falling on it. Incident ray. It is the ray of light that falls on the mirror. Reflected ray. It is the ray of light that bounces off the surface of the mirror. Normal. It is the line perpendicular to the reflecting surface at the point of incidence. Angle of incidence. It is the angle made by the incident ray with the normal at the point of incidence. Angle of reflection. It is the angle made by the reflected ray with normal at the point of reflection. In the figure given in Activity 1, ON is the normal, IO is the incident ray, RO is the reflected ray. Angle ION is the angle of incidence and angle RON is the angle of reflection. Let us understand the process of reflection through the Activity 1. Laws of reflection. There are laws which govern the process of reflection. These are called the laws of reflection. There are two laws of reflection. First law of reflection. The incident ray, the reflecting ray, and normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Thus, angle I is equal to angle R. Place a plane mirror on a drawing sheet and mark its edge with a pencil. Remove the mirror and with the help of set square, draw a perpendicular from a point O on the line of the mirror. Place the mirror back on the line. Take two pins and place them in the front of the mirror, one on the side of the perpendicular and one behind the other. Observe the images of the pins from the other side of the perpendicular line. Fix two more pins on the line of the images of the pins you have fixed earlier. Remove the mirror and the pins and join the lines of the pins on the both sides of the perpendicular with a pencil and scale. Mark the mirror line as MM, the perpendicular as ON, which is called the normal, the line joining the first pair of pins as IO, I, and the line joining the second pair of the pins as RO, R. I is the incident ray and R is the reflected ray. Measure the angle ION and the angle RON. You will find that the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. It means angle ION is equal to angle RON. It proves the first law of reflection. Second law of reflection. Angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. These laws of reflection are applicable to all types of plane and spherical surfaces. Characteristics of the image formed by a plane mirror. The characteristics of the image formed vary depending on the type of mirror used. The characteristics of the image formed by plane mirror are the following. Size. The size of the image is exact replica of the size of the object. Kind of image. A plane mirror forms an upright, also called erect, image, but laterally inverted, that is, the right side appears as the left side of the image. Distance of the image from the mirror as compared to that of the object. Stand in front of the mirror and then move back and forth. You will find that when you move closer to the mirror, the image also seems to move closer. And when you move away from the mirror, the image also seems to move further away. The reason is that in a plane mirror, the distance of the image from the mirror is equal to the distance of the object from the mirror. Regular and irregular reflection. Reflection taking place from a plane and smooth surface is said to be regular reflection. Here, the incident rays and the reflected rays are parallel to each other. Irregular reflection, also known as diffused reflection, is the reflection taking place from an uneven surface. Here the incident rays are parallel, but reflected rays are not. We are able to see all the things around us due to irregular reflection. Lateral inversion. If you stand in front of the mirror and see your image, what do you observe? You observe that your left hand becomes your right hand and your right hand your left. The same happens for your ears. The phenomenon in which the left of an object appears to be the right and right appears to be the left is termed as lateral inversion. Have you wondered why the ambulance has the words on its front written inverted? This is done to enable the drivers of the vehicles in front of the ambulance to view the correct word in the rear view mirror and make way for it to go. Types of images. Two types of images are formed by a mirror. Real image. The image that can be obtained on a screen is called real image. It is formed when light rays after reflection actually intersect each other. Virtual image. The image which is called a virtual image is formed when light rays after reflection do not actually intersect each other, but they appear to diverge from it. Geometrically, they intersect when they are produced in backward direction. Multiple reflection. When two mirrors are placed in front of each other at a slight angle, they form many images. This phenomenon is called multiple reflection. The number of images formed depend on the angle between the mirrors. You might be thinking that when one plane mirror forms one image, then two plane mirrors together will form two images. Here is an activity to understand the phenomenon of dispersion of light. Get a plane mirror of a suitable size. Place it in a bowl. Fill the bowl with water. Put this arrangement near a window in such a way that direct sunlight falls on the mirror. Adjust the position of bowl so that the reflected light from the mirror falls on a wall. If the wall is not white, fix a sheet of white paper on it. reflected light will be seen to have many colors. The mirror and water form a prism, which breaks up the light into its colors. It is called dispersion. Rainbow is a natural phenomenon showing dispersion of light. However, this is not true. By varying the angle between the two mirrors, we can get any number of images. Refraction and dispersion of light. Light can travel through various mediums like air, glass, water, and oil. When light passes from one medium to another, it bends at the surface, separating the two. The bending of light when light travels from one medium to another is called refraction of light. The image produced by a magnifying glass is because of refraction. Refraction can also cause white light to split into different colors. Example: sunlight and torchlight are the mixtures of lights of different colors. When the light from these sources bends sharply due to refraction, its constituent colors get separated. When the lights of all the colors are mixed in a certain proportion, it is seen as white light. Sunlight is an example of white light, which is a mixture of 7 colors. On refraction, lights of different colors bend in varying proportion. Hence, when light made of different colors gets refracted, its components tend to split. The splitting of light into its component colors is called dispersion of light. The band of colors produced due to splitting of white light is termed as a spectrum. The sunlight contains the mixture of 7 colors. These are violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. These colors are in sequence in the visible spectrum of sunlight and named as Vibgyor to remember it conveniently. Uses of plane mirrors. Plane mirrors find various uses in our day-to-day life. Some of them are listed below. They are commonly used as viewing glasses in homes and hotels. They are used in big showrooms to provide false dimensions in the showcases. They are used in solar cookers for focusing sun rays. They are used in parlors and boutiques to get the back view. They are also used in Kaleidoscope and Periscope. Plane mirror is used while shaving. Dentists use plane mirror to observe the inside view of mouth clearly. Plane mirror is also used in solar cookers. It is used in torchlights, flashlights, and overhead projectors to reflect light beams. The kaleidoscope. The principle of forming multiple images by mirrors at an angle to each other is used in kaleidoscope. It consists of 3 plane mirrors inclined at an angle of 60 degrees to each other. The arrangement is kept in a cylindrical cardboard box with a few pieces of colored glass at one end. The mirrors form multiple images of the glass pieces, resulting in beautiful patterns when seen from the other end. On rotating the cylindrical box, the pattern changes continuously as the positions of the glass pieces shift. Here is an activity showing how to make your own kaleidoscope. Firmly tape 3 mirror strips together so that they form an equilateral triangle with the shiny surfaces facing inwards. Take a piece of cardboard of the same length as the mirror strips. Tape it in place. Cover the 2 open ends of the cardboard with clear plastic and tape it. At one end, place some broken pieces of colored glass bangles on the plastic. Tape some cellophane paper on top of the plastic, leaving enough space between the plastic and paper for the bangle pieces to move. Your kaleidoscope is ready. Look through the kaleidoscope to see beautiful patterns. The patterns that we see in a kaleidoscope are formed because of multiple reflection. How things are visible to us. We are able to see the things around us due to light falling on our eyes. The light from luminous bodies falls on non-luminous bodies and makes them visible. This incident light is reflected back by the object's surface and enters the eyes. An irregular surface results in diffused reflection and the reflected light rays reach the eyes. An image of the object is formed on a screen known as retina in eyes, which further transmits message to the brain. The brain in turn interprets the image and the things thus become visible. Luminous objects are visible because of the light emitted by them. The eyes can also distinguish between various colors. This quality is limited to a few animal species also besides human beings. Here is an activity to demonstrate the presence of blind spot in human eye. Make a dot and a cross on a sheet of paper on a spot to the right of the cross. The distance between the two marks may be 6 to 8 cm. Hold the sheet of paper at an arm's length from the eye. Close your left eye. Look continuously at the cross. Move the sheet slowly towards yourself. Does the round mark disappear at some point? Now, close your right eye. Look at the round mark now and repeat the activity. Does the cross disappear? The disappearance of cross and round mark shows that there is a point on the retina which cannot send messages to the brain when light falls on it. This point, termed as blind spot, is the region of the retina at the junction of the optic nerve and the retina. There are no sensory cells at this spot. Hence, any image formed here cannot be visible. Structure of the human eye. On an average, a human eye measures around 2.5 cm. An eye consists of a round structure called the eyeball. The front part of the eye is called the cornea. It is a transparent membrane. Behind the cornea is the collection of muscles controlled by the iris. The iris has a hole in the center called the pupil. Iris is that part of the eye which gives it its distinctive color and controls the amount of light entering into the eye. In bright light, it expands and reduces the size of the pupil. In dull light, the iris contracts to increase the size of the pupil to admit more light. This is the reason that pupil appears smaller during the day than at dusk. Behind the pupil, a jelly-like substance makes the lens of the eye. The region between the cornea and the lens is filled with a transparent fluid called the aqueous humor. The ciliary muscles hold the lens in their position. When light rays reach the lens of the eye, passing through the pupil, they bend and form an inverted image on the retina. The rods and cones present in the retina convert the image into an electric impulse which is transported through the optic nerve to the brain. Rods are sensitive to dim light, whereas cones are sensitive to bright light. Yellow spot is present in the center at the back of the eye. Defects of vision. Some persons can see objects close to them but can't see distant objects clearly. On the other hand, some persons can't see nearby objects clearly but they can see distant objects very well. With suitable corrective lenses, these defects of the eyes can be corrected. There are two defects of vision in a human eye: short-sightedness or myopia. A person suffering from myopia can only see the nearby objects clearly, but not the distant objects. It occurs because the images of these objects are not formed on retina but in front of the retina. Its defect can be corrected by using a concave lens having suitable focal length. Long-sightedness or hypermetropia. A person suffering from long-sightedness or hypermetropia can see the distant objects clearly, but he or she can't see nearby objects clearly because the image of the object is formed behind the retina. To remove this defect, the person is advised to use convex lens of suitable focal length. The ability of eye lens to change the power of lens to accommodate the near and far off distances is termed as the power of accommodation. The power of accommodation takes place by contraction and relaxation of the ciliary muscles. There is a limit to the power of accommodation of the eye. If an object is at a distance less than 25 cm from the eyes, it can't be seen clearly without a strain on the eyes. This distance of 25 cm is called least distance of distant vision. The far distance of a normal eye is infinity. Care of the eyes. Eyes are very important organs of our body. Thus, taking proper care of them is very important. The most important thing is the diet we take. Our diet should have a rich supply of vitamins A, C, E, and selenium to keep our eyes healthy. We should visit an eye specialist in case of any problem. One should wear spectacles if advised. Proper light arrangement is necessary for our eyes. Too much or too less light might cause eye strain or headache. We should not look directly at a very strong source of light like the sun or a bulb. In case any dust particles enter the eyes, we should wash them with clean water. Reading should be done by keeping the book at the right distance from our eyes. We should keep washing our eyes regularly. We should also limit the viewing of mobile, TV screens, and long computer sessions. Visually impaired people. Around 180 million people in the world are visually impaired. A person is visually impaired because either the image is not formed inside the eyes or the image falling on the retina does not reach the brain and thus is not interpreted by it. Braille is a system of writing and printing, specifically for the visually impaired people. This system uses characters formed by patterns of raised dots that represent letters and numbers, which can be felt by the fingers. It was invented by Louis Braille. Braille consists of patterns of raised dots arranged in cells of up to 6 dots in a 3x2 configuration. Each cell represents a letter, numeral, or punctuation mark. There are 63 dot patterns in the Braille system.